Hello everyone, a very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV. Paul Alster here with you once again with this weekend's racing tips, focusing on Saturday the 7th of November in Britain. We have three selections for you this time around. A quick word about last week where the wheels came off after a really good run of form. First of all, one of the three runners, one of the three selections was a non-runner, so we can't do much about that. Now the other two both ran at Wetherby, both trained by Nigel Twiston Davis, and they both ran like drains, really badly. And it turns out that all is not well at that particular stable. He hasn't had a winner for his last 27 runners, and the horses are clearly below par, something we couldn't have known until they actually came out and ran. So that was a disappointment, but these things happen, and we leave it behind us. And we move ever onwards with three selections on what is the final day of the flat season on turf in both Britain and Ireland. A turf year 2020 that's been very, very challenging for everybody in the industry, from trainers and jockeys and owners to punters and tipsters alike. Happy to say that here at Sportsbet TV we've done pretty well throughout the course of this season despite that. So hoping to finish on a high. Two selections at Doncaster, the first at 1:30, which is the listed Wentworth Stakes. It's over 6 furlongs, and this year's renewal is a very good renewal indeed. Dakota Gold has been in great form this term, and he's going to be a hard horse to beat, but he is penalised. Both he and Ostilio are on hat-tricks, two horses in absolutely cracking form. We've also got the York handicap winner, Gulliver, who's gone very close for us and done us a favour this season as well at big odds in a handicap in Ireland. And both Air Raid and Amarillo Star are also last time out winners. But for me, there's a standout here, and personally I think the odds setters have got it wrong. The horse is Brando, the old boy trained by Kevin Ryan, and the Mount of Kevin start. He's been a wonderful servant of connections, winning at the highest level and running time after time very good races against hot opposition. Now he'd appeared to be a little bit below his old form this season. He is getting on a bit until he absolutely blasted back to form last time out 3 weeks ago at Ascot in the Group 1 Champions Sprint. He lost by that much, beaten a nose by Glen Shiel. You remember the race won by Holly Doyle, it made history. But he ran an absolute stormer, and in another half a stride he would have won and come here as a group winner last time out. The fact is, he lost by that very fine margin, but he's way down in class here, and he gets weight from the likes of Dakota Gold. £5 for example. A horse who is rated £5 is inferior, so he's actually £10 well in. Now, I used to be an SP returner, looking at the odds all the time and analysing. For me, if I was making a book, I'd make Brando a 7-4 chance. So I think that the 3-1 on offer with the likes of Betfair, Paddy Power, Bet Victor, Betfred and Boyle Sports is a decent price. If he runs to the form of the Ascot race, he's going to take a lot of beating, his old Brando, and he's got his ground because he really goes well in the soft ground. So he's my selection in the 1:30 at Doncaster at 3-1. Now later on, I was in two minds about looking for a selection in the November handicap, which is at 3:15 over a mile and a half, 23 runners. It's always ultra competitive. It is of course the last big handicap on turf of the season. Now I've had a bit of luck in this race over the years. Way back about 15-20 years ago, a mare called Flossie did me a very, very big favour, having punted her at quite long odds at anti-post. So this is a race I've had a bit of luck in over the years. And there's one horse here among the 23 who caught my eye. Now his name is Torcello. He's trained by Sean Lysett and the Mount of Megan Nichols. Many of you may not be familiar with Sean Lysett. He doesn't train many horses. Indeed, I think he's only got 4 or 5 running on the flat and a similar number over jumps. But he's a very capable and shrewd trainer. Now, Torcello won twice last year when ridden by Megan Nichols, winning at Epsom and at Windsor. He stays between 1.25 miles and 1.5 miles and goes particularly well on soft ground. Now, he'd been given a long break since a couple of starts over hurdles last winter, and it was an absence of 11 months from which he returned recently when he was a very close second to Luna Jet at Newbury. That was over 1.25 miles. Now, that was just a couple of weeks ago. It will have blown away the cobwebs. He runs off the same mark. Mega Nichols gets on very well with him, and although he's got a high draw, I think he's still going to run a very big race, and I think he's going to have a lot of these in trouble from a long way out. So the odds on offer at the time of this recording are late on Friday morning, 20 to 1 each way, and that's for 5 places, not 4 places, with Betfair, BetVictor and Paddy Power. I think his value, a little bit each way, 20 to 1 Torcello to win the November handicap for Sean Lysett and Mega Nichols at 3:15 on Saturday. And then we cross to the jumps, which is really going full steam ahead now, and at Wincanton in the West Country in Somerset. The 3:35 is the Badger Beers Silver Trophy Handicap Chase over 3 miles 1 furlong. It's a listed event, and there are some very talented chasers in it, including Present Man, who's won the race twice before in 2017 and 2018. He did pull up in the race last year, but has already shown his well-being by winning first time out at Chepstow recently. We've got Just a Story for Harry Fry. He was 4th in the race last year. And we've got both El Presente and Kitty Light, who are 2 horses who are improving up the handicap ranks, and who knows how far they could go. They're up-and-coming chasers. But for me, the interesting runner here is a horse who was a smart novice chaser last year. He's very lightly raced, he's unexposed, and he's first time running in a handicap, so it will be a very different test for him in a big field. But I think Danny WHIZZBANG, named after one of the characters from the great TV series that we all follow, trained by Paul Nicholls, and the mount of Harry Cobden, I think Danny WHIZZBANG is going to be very interesting here. Now, bearing in mind that Paul Nicholls' yard has won this 5 times in the last 10 years, including the last 3 renewals. Danny WHIZZBANG won the Grade 2 Novices Chase at Newbury in November last year. He was then 3rd in the Grade 1 Cato Star Novices Chase, and then 3rd in the Reynoldstown Novices Chase at Ascot in February, and we haven't seen him since. So the horse named after the character from Peaky Blinders, I think he's going to prove as tough as his namesake. And even though he's got top weight first time in a handicap, I don't think Paul Nicholls, the great trainer that he is, will put him in against seasoned handicappers here first time if he didn't think Danny WHIZZBANG was up to the job. So I think despite top weight, he could possibly be well in. He could be a very high class chaser by the end of the season, and he's offered generally at 11 to 2, which is a good each way price. You'll get your money back if he places 2nd or 3rd. So Danny WHIZZBANG for me, each way 11 to 2 in the 3:35 at Wincanton. The final of our 3 selections for Saturday. As always, I wish you the very best of luck. Enjoy the weekend, despite all the circumstances we're going through, and let's hope we can have a winner or 2 to put a smile back on the face. Bye-bye for now. Join us next week at Sportsbet TV.